So here we are, 3. I spent yesterday, I think, or whenever it was, I spent telling you about me getting down to journaling. And I journaled like crazy. I had so many pieces of paper. I'd keep the pad with me while I shirt did that whole thing. Eventually, I decided that this was working for me. And I said, if it works for me, it may not work for everybody, but it does work for me. And if it works for me, there may be some other people that would help, that this would help. And I wanted to try to tell them that there was some hope for them. That was my goal. And so I thought, well, if I can publicly blog, maybe that'll give you some courage to do it too. So that's what I started to do. I went out and I opened the blog up, talked to somebody, figured out how to do it. I'm not, obviously I'm not a young kid, but I figured if I could help you, I'm going to do it. I decided to do a public blog, and I wanted to put things onto the blog and give you the permission to do the same. Didn't cost you anything, just some time. And I thought, well, eventually lots of people would be coming and they would start to blog and everybody would be blogging and we'd be just communicating with each other. We all have something that we know, all have something that maybe we share in a different way, but we share it. So that was my thought, and I thought that this would be a good idea. My wife, who is a psychologist, and I promise you I will bring her on at some point and do. She's wonderful, she's lovely. She's a psychologist and a psychoanalyst, so she's got the double doctorate. She's a paradox or something, that's a joke. Anyway, she said to me, I stumbled on self-psychology. I mean, I didn't do it for that purpose or didn't even know that I'd done it. I just knew something was working. And it's basically the same principle if you were going in to see a psychologist. You're talking to somebody who's listening to you and trying to give you some idea of what's going on. You're doing it through them that are trying to point out some obvious things that you may not see because you're involved in it. So she said, I stumbled on this self-psychology. So my thought was, if I stumbled on it, maybe I can introduce it to you, and then all of a sudden you're feeling better. And then maybe you would stumble on it for some, open that door up to somebody else and give them permission to do the same. So that was my first general idea, and I was sure that everybody was going to come flocking in here. Well, that just didn't happen. I had it. Some people came, they would do it for a time or a couple times. Doesn't work, not that way. If you think this is going to work in 2 times, yeah, you're mistaken. Remember that you were in Vietnam or in Iraq or in Afghanistan or wherever it was you were. You didn't get it 1 second and say, boy, I've got it. Boy, I've got PTSD. I just had that happen. It took me a whole year in Vietnam. That's what it was. We all served a year. For you, it may be more than a year. You don't do it 1 moment and get PTSD. This is being shell-shocked for a year, for a year and a half, or 2 years, or every time you go back, you're getting these violent and terrible images that you have to deal with. These things happen and they're grinding in you all the time. And the way you have to do it is you have to start unloading little bits of it and little pieces of it till you get most of it out. It's like a teapot or something that's screaming with all this pressure inside, and it screams to be let go, and it's doing through the whistle. You need to do that too. You got to unload some of this stuff. Taking little spoonfuls of sand out of your pocket makes you lighter. So that's what we're doing. And I said, well, that's the way I'll do it. I'll make this available. Still didn't work. I still didn't get anybody. I'm so shocked. I thought everybody would be like me. I couldn't stand it. If I could do it 1 second sooner, I would have. So you can't just assume it's just going to happen. It will happen. I promise you that you'll feel better. I remember when I was a kid, I went to confession for the first time, a Catholic boy. Went to confession for the first time, and when I walked out the first time, I felt so light and so airy. I unburdened myself with all these sins that an 8-year-old boy can have. I mean, I don't know what those are, but anyway, I think maybe 8 or 9 years old, what it was, but I felt so light. And that's what starts to happen to you. You start feeling better. There's certain things that you're able to get out. Nobody's going to tell you that you shouldn't do it. Nobody's going to tell you you should have said it a different way. This is up to you. Do it the way you want to do it. Your cure is going to come from you. And you can do it any way you choose. It's really great. I mean, it really is great. You don't lie to yourself. And maybe even if you do, you'll start to become truthful. And how do you get by? I mean, if you look on my website, and you're welcome to do that anytime, and I'm encouraging you to do it if you don't want to just watch videos of me. But anyway, there's lots of things there, and I write some darn big columns. When I started, it wasn't that way. It was a couple of words. It was a couple of, phrases, or sometimes one, like I remember going back and reading, said, why? That was it. One word, why? But it was a start. It was a beginning of that process. And every one of, they say, how do you eat an elephant? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So you start somewhere. You take the first step. The longest journey starts with the first step. So this is going to be a journey for you, and you'll see things will get better. You'll refuse to keep where you are, and you'll want to keep opening, and you'll get encouraged to open because you'll start to feel better. And it may be a week, it may be a month, it may be a year, maybe 10 years, maybe 40 years. But I've been doing this a long time, and I can tell you I've been able to manage this thing. Not cure it, manage it. I can manage my feelings. If I'm feeling bad, if I'm feeling down, I'll go right to the computer and I'll start to write. I want to get rid of it. I want to find out what's going on. Why is this changed from 10 minutes ago? What happened? Why did I act the way I did? Why did I blow up over something that seemed like so insignificant? Why was I not able to enjoy some of the things that I should be enjoying, and then blow up over things that shouldn't even bother me? So you have to get it all. I was all upside down with my feelings, all upside down. And I got over them and started to feel what I should feel, see what I should see, understand what I should understand. This is a fight that we're going to do together. I'm willing to come with you, and I'll sit with you and work with you and talk with you and encourage you. But it's you that have to do the job. I can't cure it for you. And you'll write, we all suffer from PTSD. It's only the circumstances that are different. That's the only thing different between you and I. You may have it much worse than I had it. You may have it much less than I had it. I'm not judging me against you. I don't want you to judge you against the next guy. We're all fighting this together, and the togetherness of it is going to help. Remember the 23. 23 is my bucket list. I wanted to say, I'm getting older. I said, I want to take the 100 things that I want to do before I die. And when I got to number 23, it was try to help others. I thought that would make me feel better. I can't get past 23. This is our 23. We're going to get this together. You're going to benefit from doing it for others. And so I'm the first, you're the second, there'll be others that'll be looking to you. How did you start? Boy, hey, we're all fighting it. And the fight is the progress. And the more you're willing to try and stay with it and hang with it, the better it's going to be. I love you. I know how hard this is. It's so much easier to not do it and just say, oh, poor me. I can't do it. I've got PTSD. Oh, and everybody will say, well, he's lying. He didn't know anything. They don't know. They don't know. A lot of times psychologists don't know. I mean, they want to understand. They're trying to understand. They have basic philosophies and things that will help them understand. But you feel what you feel, and it's real, and it's correct, and nobody can see it. You're not missing an arm. I don't have any scars where I got burned or missing a foot, I don't have any of that. I don't have any of that. And neither do you. And this is an internal scar, an internal loss of something. And you now have to grow it back and to find out how can you get it out. Now, this is going to be way over 5 minutes, but sometimes I get so wound up about this, and I want to encourage you to come on with us. This is where you can reach us. Give us a yes, you like it. We are looking to encourage you. And the more you can bring and the more people that want to come, the better it's going to be for everyone. Everybody is here to support. There's going to be no trolling. I will not allow it. I can guarantee you right this. I'll ban you from the site if you think that's funny. This is not a funny thing. We're here to encourage you, and it's going to be something that you're going to benefit from. There'll be a lot of benefits for people that are members. Be sure to give us your email address so that we can get in touch with you when things come available that you should know about. Anyway, until then, I'll talk to you soon, and come back and see me again. Remember to like me, share me, do whatever you do. I'll have some interesting things for people that like to come in and talk for a little bit. You can sit in your house and give us a little tiny video, and what we'll do is, we're going to look at them, and if they're worthwhile, hey, I'd love to see what you have to say. I don't know everything. Certainly, I wish I did, but I don't. So you might have that one key piece of material that helps that next guy, and I want you to bring it and tell us about it. All right. So talk to you.